So yeah, you guys, let's do a bit of a long-term review with this old beast. I think I would say that I qualify because I've had this bike since probably, I don't know, the mid-90s or something. So I don't even know, what is that, 30 years or something? 25 years, whatever it is. Anyways, I've had it a heck of a long time, nearly 3 decades. So I don't even know where to start with the big old bike, you guys, but let's start with the dreaded countershaft sprocket. You know, the sprocket shaft wear. That's what people are just scared, petrified about. And let me tell you guys, I've done nothing to mine, nothing. The only thing I have done is I always ride in the appropriate gear. So if you're on the pavement and you're in 4th gear and you should be in 2nd gear, that's just gonna be banging away on that sprocket shaft, right? Because the chain is going like that, and that's what kills those. This bike should have had a cush drive, you know, the rubber in the hub. But it doesn't. So if you use common sense and you guys keep your chain always the right tension, like I always keep 2 inches, which is 3 fingers behind the chain guide with a chain block. On all my bikes I do that, but proper chain tension, ride it in the proper gear, don't lug it too much, especially on pavement. It's where it's notorious, and that shaft will last. I changed mine in 2020, but that's because I went with the Kickstarter. And I did a lot of mods to mine, like changed the 2nd and 5th gear and that. And mine was only half worn out, and that was like 27 years or something it lasted. So I'll flash up a picture right now of it. So let's put that to bed. There is no problem with the counter shaft. It's just the way people ride them and the maintenance you do. Just my opinion and the experience I've had with my bike. So good oil. You guys run whatever oil you like. I've ran Shell Rotella my whole life. My dad used to have semis, like big rigs, Kenworths, Peterbilts. Always ran Shell Rotella. So that's kind of where I got that from. But I used to run 1540. In the last couple of years, I did switch to full synthetic 540. It's the T6. So I just think it's, you know, that little line right there is how the oil gets to the top of the valve train. So I just think a little thinner oil on startup is good. And then you still got the 15 weight, which is, or I should say, sorry, you still have the 40 weight, which is the number you're worried about. And that's what I do for oil. I run a stainless. I know a lot of people are on the fence about the cleanable oil filter, but I've ran them in lots of bikes. I've never had an issue. It's not a big deal in my opinion, but that's what I run on there. That's my air filter. I've got like a 3-stage oil or air filter. It's a uni pod with the outer wears, this protector on there. That's because my battery box, or my air box, is now my battery box. So if you go watch my build video, I'll put a link up here in the cards. You guys can go watch I did a brief build video of what I did to this bike. I did that in 2020. Up until 2020, I rode the wheels off it. I didn't do anything too particular. I never had any serious problems. It fell over once, and I bent the gear shifter, which bent a shift fork inside, so the motor had to come apart for that. I've got the FCR carb, the pumper carb off a CRF 450. Excuse me. I think it's off a 2002 I got it off, CRF 450. And I've had that on there since, I don't know, the early 2000s. I've had it on there a long time, not 0 issue with the bike running. It runs flawless. I do have an inline fuel filter on it. It's not needed because it does filter coming out of the tank, but I like my fuel really clean, because then you'll have less problems with the carbs. So that's that. I don't know what else to say about it, you guys. Just use common sense. You don't have to. I can't tell you how many posts I see about that sprocket shaft, and guys are like, they think they have to put special sprockets on, and even, I mean, if it makes you sleep better, then put it on. But honestly, if you're not going to wear it out in your lifetime, or most of the guys that own this bike, they don't own it for longer than 2-3 years, maybe 5, maybe 10. I've seen some guys own them for 15, but that's kind of, you know, I'm kind of abnormal owning it for 30 years, or whatever it is, almost 30 years. So I guess I'm a pretty good judge of it. I took the motor apart years ago and I put a Wiseco in there. I can't remember what compression ratio it is. I think it's 9:1 or 9.5:1, whatever it was. It's been a long time ago I did that. But I like the I like that 9-to-1, not too much over that, because then you don't have to look for the special fuel, or like higher octane fuel, I should say. Some of my buddies have to do that, and it's whatever if you want to spend more on fuel. You can get power other ways. Like I did my own version of porting and polishing. I made the ports a little bigger and smoothed them all out in there with a Dremel. They came out pretty good, actually. So that, flows more air, and the pod filter, and then, run a good exhaust. I'm an FMF fanboy. FMF sponsored me for my whole career riding bikes, so I'm obviously biased to them, but they do make good exhausts. If you can get your hands on one, they're always sold out. But yeah, so you get good airflow, you'll make more power. You don't have to go to a 10.5-to-1 or 11-to-1 compression ratio. That's just, that's kind of annoying in my opinion. You're going to gain more power, I suppose, but mostly at elevation. But it runs pretty good, this old bike. I've got it dialed in. I've never had it not start, or never had it. I like the big motors because you can lug them down. Another hot topic is the flywheel. I've seen a few guys on the internet lighten their flywheels, and that's not what this motor is designed for. If you're an XR fanboy like I am, you like it because it doesn't rev. So it makes all its power down low, kind of like a Harley motor, like it tractors. And that's what's appealing to me with this motor. So removing that, you're removing the inertia. I don't want the motor to stall. That's why I like it. Sometimes I lug this thing down to just about stalling, but that's where you find your traction, right? That's why enduro guys add weight to their flywheels. Same idea, you're just removing it. All it's gonna do is rev quicker, and you'll think it's making more power, but it doesn't. It's making the bike less rideable is what it's doing. So yeah, that's where I am on that. XRs for life, you guys. Drop some comments what works for you guys and how long you guys have owned your bikes. I haven't seen too many guys that have owned them as long as I have. There's a few out there, but not very many. So I suppose I'm a decent judge of what works. Right on, you guys. See you guys in the next video. Drop some comments, hit that button.